Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker officially announced his candidacy for president today, bringing the total of declared candidates now to 15 on the Republican side. It's making for a crowded field for those Republican voters who will have to pick out their favorite either during primary elections and caucuses. Joining us now to talk more about this very crowded field is political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, thanks for coming back with us.
Glad to be here, Kiba.
Let's talk about this. Scott Walker out of Wisconsin. He's made some headlines over the past few years that ended collective bargaining for most of the public workers there. First governor to survive a recall effort.
Correct.
He has shattered finance campaign records. Tell us about Mr. Walker.
He's a very interesting person to look at. Elected as a governor in 2010, survives a recall. Only person in American history at the governor's level to survive a recall. Comes back and wins in 2014. Raised $30 million from outside the state. Has traveled all over the place. Frankly, 3 weeks ago, I had a chance to spend a little time with him and was very interested in how he sees this race. He thinks it's going to quickly emerge as a race between Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, and himself.
On the more conservative side, he has legalized the carrying of concealed weapons, made abortions more difficult, required photo ID when voting. So when you go to a election time, how is that going to fare with the whole country?
Well, what happens at this point in the game is you tack to the Republican base, and then when you've finished that and you start emerging
how
from
do you
that,
go back?
It's always difficult.
I know.
You know, because what happens is you start seeing their statements in television advertisements put up by their opponents about where they were. We see it every election, but they have to go after their base and then roll back to the middle, and that's what he will be doing very quickly.
And that's what they all do. Okay, so you mentioned it. All right, so we have Scott Walker. He seems to be the favorite in the polling right now. Jeb Bush?
Jeb Bush is going to be formidable. He has raised a lot of money already. Walker told me that his main criticism of Bush, ironically, was that he's been out of office for a number of years.
Okay.
And he was kind of sizing up the field, and you know, he had more middle America appeal than Marco Rubio. So you know, all of these people are trying to find their place in this giant pack of 15 candidates.
Right. So you have Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Carly Fiorina. There's your woman there, right? And then the Donald.
Well, the Donald's always something to watch. Talk about a guy that shoots from the lip. If you ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer, and it may not be a very political one at times. And as you know, around the issue of immigration, he's been very strident, and he's already picked up a lot of undercurrent of real opposition because of that. Right.
Well, Donald's taking it to true form about appealing to your base, right, when it comes to immigration.
Well, and frankly, to people that
extreme.
Yes, a little on the extreme side, who they're tired of politics as it is and that sort of thing. And he appeals to those kinds of people because he's an outsider. But something to watch. He is not going to emerge from this pack. The question is whether he will run an independent campaign. It's sort of like Bernie Sanders on the Democrat side of things.
Break out from the Republican.
Exactly. On both sides, they will not emerge as the candidate at the end of the line. And so, will they run as independents? That'll be something we'll watch over time.
Okay, Brian. One last question. We got a Walker at 15. If the Ohio governor John Kasich gets in, he will make number 16. There's a debate next month. How do we get all of them on the stage, and will we start to see the field get a little bit shorter?
Nobody really knows how to handle this. Lots of theories. Maybe my own thinking is maybe a Hollywood Squares kind of deal.
Okay.
You have to go up a number of stories or something. It's not easy. There are way too many people in there, no focus. But eventually, that because it costs so much to run around the country and to campaign, that number is going to start sliding back fairly quickly because right now you can't tell the players without a scorecard.
Brian, if you had to pick right now, who do you think is going to come the winner on the Republican side?
Wow, that's a ways away.
I know it is. I'm just asking.
It's going to come down probably to Jeb Bush, perhaps a Walker.
Okay. Jeb Bush or Walker against Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton.
You suspect?
Yeah, I would think so, unless the Dems find somebody else that jumps in the race.
We'll see.
Yes,
maybe
absolutely.
Joe Biden.
Possibly Biden. We'll see about that.
Okay.
Yes.
Political analyst Brian Sobel. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Kiba.
Okay, Mike, over to you.